All right, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, for those who are watching. I'm Tracy Smith, and I'm the Graduate Program Director at Meredith College. Work with primarily with the Master of Science in Nutrition program, as well as the Dietetic Internship. And what that means is it is an advanced degree in nutrition. So you have a Master's of Science in Nutrition, and if you choose to become a registered dietitian, you can also do an internship, and I'll talk more about that in a minute. Thank you for joining me this evening, and I don't know how this works. There we go. So for those of you who do not know, Meredith College is in Raleigh, North Carolina, which is in the middle of the state. If you're looking at the state, it's about 2 and a half hours from the coast, and about 3 hours, 3.5 hours to the mountains, so it's really right in the middle. It's about an hour from the Virginia border. If you've ever been to Meredith, it's really lovely campus. It's really in the heart of Raleigh, close to downtown, right across the street from NC State, pretty much. And we have, in the Meredith graduate programs, we have, like I said, the Master's of Science in Nutrition. We have 2 different options. Most of the students, probably about 75% of our students, do the didactic program in dietetics, and we call MSDPD. And all that means is that you get the necessary coursework to put you on the path to become a licensed registered dietitian nutritionist in North Carolina and anywhere in the country. And Meredith is pretty unique. There's not a lot of programs that offer that with a master's program. Most schools either have it with an undergraduate or maybe a post-bac. Meredith is one of the only ones that you can do it as a standalone and then go into a dietetic internship anywhere. So you don't have to do your dietetic internship at Meredith. You can do it anywhere in the country. And if you don't know what that means, don't worry about that. I'm going to talk about that more in a minute. The other track that we have is Food and Nutrition Studies. And that basically is you get an advanced degree in nutrition, but it doesn't get you into a dietetic internship to be a clinician. So if you want to study nutrition and not be certified or get the dietetic or the registered dietitian credential, but you still would get an advanced degree in nutrition, your graduate degree. Okay, and then our internship is really unique. We have 44 spots, which is pretty large compared to most schools have like half of that. We have 3 different pathways, including a distance pathway, which you could do from your hometown. And that is where you get set up your own rotations. But once you're finished, you take the you take the RD exam and you become a dietitian, and we work with you and help you through that process. So it's a little confusing, but I'm here to hopefully help with that confusion. The middle track is what most students, like if you came to a school that didn't offer the didactic program in dietetics, like an undergraduate in nutrition. So if you're here, then you probably don't have an undergraduate in nutrition, because I don't think they offer that at UNC Charlotte. However, it does not mean that you cannot become a registered dietitian, because our program is sort of designed for students that do not have an undergraduate in nutrition. The only caveat being that you have the necessary prerequisites. And there are 9 prerequisites that you have to do beforehand to get into our program. I'll show you what those are in a minute. They're pretty straightforward. But you have a bachelor's degree in whatever. A lot of our students, as I was saying earlier, come to us with an exercise science background. Because they're interested in the field of sports dietetics. But we have students that come with communication undergraduate majors. Psychology is a big one. Any of the like soft sciences. But really, as long as you meet those prerequisites before you enter in our program, even if you have to do them like at a community college or online or something, you can come into the program with whatever undergraduate degree you have. And then you come in, you get your master's of science in nutrition. It's designed to be completed in 4 semesters, okay, and part-time or full-time, but full-time in grad school is anything over 6 hours, so that's 2 classes. And then you get, with your coursework, you're getting what's called a DPD verification statement, Didactic Program in Dietetics Verification Statement. So when you're done, you have a Master's of Science in Nutrition along with the DPD verification statement, and that piece of paper allows you to go into an internship, again, at Meredith or anywhere in the country, okay? So you have the flexibility if you wanted to go to California and do an internship, or some of our students, I'm thinking about where they got matched this year, Tennessee or Charleston or UGA or Cornell or wherever in the country, wherever you want to do your internship, you could get in with that master's, with that DPD verification statement. Then you do an internship. Typically, they're about 9 to 12 months, depending on where you do them. At Meredith, you can complete it with the academic year. So you start in August and you're done by May. And then once you complete the internship, you take the RD exam and you become a registered dietitian. So that middle one is that path. There are some schools in North Carolina that you could do your bachelor's in nutrition, get the DPD, and then go right into an internship. Okay, so that's that other path. Okay, these are the prerequisites that you need to get into our master's DPD program. Nutrition, chem, intro to stats, anatomy and physiology, all of these with the labs, organic chemistry, food science. That is the class that most students that don't have an undergraduate in nutrition need, and so we offer that at Meredith College the summer before you come, if you're interested in coming in the fall semester. But there are other options too. You could find that at a community college, particularly one that has a culinary science degree. But I counsel students, work with students all the time that are getting into our program where they can find that class: biology, microbiology, and psychology. So those are the prerequisites. And again, if you don't have them before you graduate, you just need to get them before you enter into the program. So you can get admitted into our program on a provisional, like a conditional acceptance, based on successful completion of the remaining prerequisites. Okay. So our DPD, which if you're interested in becoming a dietitian, that's that MSDPD, it's 37 hours. Again, it's designed to be completed in 4 semesters. So that's taking 3 classes a semester, pretty much, not including summers. And most of our students like having the summers off because that's the time that they take to have a break and also get their clinical hours or experience hours in the field of nutrition, because that's a really big thing that you want to consider when you're applying to a dietetic internship. How many experience hours do you have in the field? And honestly, most of the students that come into our program, particularly from a different undergraduate major, don't have a ton of experience hours yet. And so our job is, while you're in our program, to help you get experience hours in the field of dietetics and nutrition, so that when you apply to a dietetic internship, whether it's at Meredith or anywhere, I forgot I have this on, then you're ready to go straight into the internship. So you know the verbiage in a clinical setting. You've worked with the staff at a hospital. You can go in with confidence. And so our job is to help you with that. And our dietetic internship is unique because the concentration at Meredith is leadership. And what that means basically is that we want to produce leaders in the field of dietetics, so that when you go out and get your first job, it's not entry level, right? You're starting out in a job where you are a leader in the field. So, you're over, you're supervising, or it's just not, working from the ground up, because you've already had experience in the internship. And a lot of our students, many students, come right out of the internship with job offers. We have to report, that's one of the things. We can't just say because it looks good on the website that our concentration is leadership. We have to show that our students are actual leaders in the field within 3 to 5 years of completion. What are they doing? And I'm going to show you what they're doing, what some of our students are doing. And I kind of picked a few examples. I just wanted to give a good sampling of the various different things that students are doing after they graduate and after they complete in the field of dietetics and nutrition. I mentioned the other track, the Food and Nutrition Studies track. That one can be completed on an accelerated path in 1 year. Okay, we are in the very ending stages of getting our final board approval, and that should come in the next couple weeks. But if that happens, then we'll start that in the fall, and it can actually be completed by next summer. Okay. Okay, so I wanted to show you before I get into that. We just did a basic non-scientific study about where our students are working. And I mentioned earlier about all the different areas. And these are their answers. So you could see that there are quite a few that do work in the clinical setting. And this is pretty much right after the completion. So a lot of students feel like they have to go right into clinical so they could get that hands-on experience. But after a couple years of that, if that's not their jam, they don't want to do that, then they go into lots of other different things. And so community for food service management, nutrition ed, research, we've got a lot of students going into research, way more than ever before. In fact, we have a couple students that we just found out that are getting their PhDs now, which I think is a really great option too. That's what you want to do later. But the most important thing I think on this slide is the growth. We continue to see the growth rate in this job, in this field. So if you go onto the U.S. Department of Labor website, Google nutritionists and dietitians, you'll see that it's continuing to grow every year. People are finally seeing the connection between health and wellness and what we put in our bodies and how important that is. And so the jobs are reflecting that, okay? So these are some of the different examples of what our students that have gone through our program, what they are doing. And I haven't updated this in a while. I'll just tell you, Cameron, she's the one that was on the slide in the beginning. She's the middle person right now. She is actually just got a promotion and is working now at a college, and she's a DPD director at a college, which just blows me away because I feel like she was just a student, and it's been a while since she was a student. But she started as a undergrad at UNC Chapel Hill in exercise science. And then she came to Meredith and did her master's, and then she went to Cornell to do her dietetic internship. Katie, she did her undergrad at, she actually did hers in exercise science too at Carolina. I didn't realize that they were both next to each other. But anyway, she had it always in her mind that she wanted to move to Colorado, and so she applied to a dietetic internship out there and completed it and then stayed and got a job in the children's hospital there. Her interest is pediatric nutrition, clinical nutrition. Laura Thomas, she came to us from UNC Wilmington. She had a undergraduate in public health, BS in public health. And so I think she needed a couple of the prerequisites and then did her master's at Meredith. She actually did her dietetic internship at Meredith. She got some experience in the sports nutrition realm, but she was always really active. I'm pretty sure she was an athlete, but she was really just an active, very fit, physically fit, and got a job working with a sports team, a professional sports team, as sort of the dietetic assistant, and now she's working at Liberty University as one of the sports dietitians there. Katie, she's got a really cool background. She did her culinary degree at Johnson Wales here, I'm pretty sure in Charlotte, and then decided that she was more interested in the clinical, like dietetic side of nutrition, so came and got her master's with us and did her dietetic internship really quickly, not at Meredith, but somewhere, I'm pretty sure it was Utah. And then now she's a nutrition consultant with Department of Public Instruction. So like school nutrition is an option. And then Emmeline, she did her BS in biology from Warren Wilson, a small private university college, and she wasn't really interested in the dietetic side of nutrition. She was more interested in like community nutrition and sustainability. Her family had a farm, I believe, and so she was really interested in like that whole issue of food insecurity. And so now she got her master's, and now she's working with the Durham Partnership for Children, which is not that far from Raleigh. It's near Duke. And then Cameron, he came from NC State. He was a nutrition undergraduate, I believe, at NC State, interested in sports nutrition. I really thought that he was going to go work with a sports team. I think that he did one of the graduate assistantships. We have a partnership with NC State where our master's students can go work with the football team or the basketball team, or like if they're interested in sports nutrition. So he did that for quite some time. So I really thought that's what he was going to do. And then he got a job in sort of a corporate setting. And actually, I got to update this now because I just read on LinkedIn that he got another job. He got offered a different job in corporate corporate wellness. Stephanie, she went to NC State. Same kind of path as Cameron. She did work with them with the football team at State the whole time she was at Meredith, and now she's a sports nutritionist for the Philadelphia Eagles. Chris, he was in our MS program at DPD. He was going to be a dietitian. Midway through, he's like, nope, I'm not going to be a clinician. I'm really interested in the sustainability aspect of nutrition. So he stopped doing the dietetic part, and now he is like the sustainability director at NC State. So he went back there, and his job is really cool. It's like he sources from local farms to the dining at State. So like I think that's sort of a niche job, a really cool job, perfect for him. And then Jasmine, she works for the Department of Public Health. She works for the SNAP Ed program, did her master's and her internship at Meredith. I got lots of other examples, but I just wanted to show you all the sampling of like the various different avenues you can explore nutrition. Lots of students, I was mentioning earlier, come into the program thinking they want to be clinicians, thinking they want to do a specific area, and then get exposed to something else and don't even realize the opportunities. So I think that for, future like career paths, you're not really pigeonholed to one aspect. Like, so you might be interested in sports, you might be interested in clinical nutrition, but later on down the line, you might have opportunity to set up your own shop and be an entrepreneur. One of they're not. I think they're maybe not. I didn't bring all of my materials, but I have two former students that started with endurance athletes. And they were working for a company, an organization in Cary, right outside of Raleigh, that was actually started by a Meredith alum. And now, and she takes some of our students as interns on every year, and they started that way. They got married while they were in our program, which they met while they were in the program, which we can't guarantee that, but it happens sometimes. And now they have their own company that they're doing, and I've been sort of following them, and they're doing really, really well. So, but both of them started, and they got experience in other avenues and decided that that's what they wanted to do. Now they're doing their own thing. We have another student that was working in a clinical setting. She got a job. She was working at Duke, and during COVID, her hours were cut down. And so she decided that she wanted to explore like this whole social media aspect. And so she started her online, and it was so successful. She's called the Millennial Nutritionist, so you can Google her and find her and follow her. But it was so successful that she quit her clinical job, and that's all she's doing. And now she's employing a lot of our students and our interns because she has lots of opportunities. So yeah, there's lots of things that you can explore. I think that's really smart of you to think about other options now, later on, so close to graduation. We are hosting some information session. The next one that's coming up is actually on a Saturday morning. It's part of our graduate, it's a graduate workshop. So it's about like your next step if you're thinking about graduate school, and it's free. It's just an hour. We have a panel of our students that are going to talk to students that are thinking about grad school, so it's more generic, and then afterwards we'll break out into like a session about just nutrition. But that's on the 5th. You can email me and I can send you the details, or I could share this PowerPoint with you all. And then yeah, those are our socials, and so that's pretty much all I have. That's for the formal presentation, but I'm happy to answer questions. I know that was a lot and I talk really fast, so do you all have any questions?